Welcome back to the Turo Hustle. All right, are you brand new to the Turo platform or are you thinking about doing Turo? Then this video is for you. If you want to make sure when you're setting up Turo, you are going to be on the path for success and doing things right, then go ahead and watch this whole video. All right, it's only a few minutes and it is going to save you thousands of dollars and lots of headaches down the road. All right, so please subscribe and welcome to the Turo Hustle. Alright, so this first step that you're going to take in Turo is definitely going to be your biggest one, right? You're going to want to make sure you are purchasing the right car. And in order to do that, you need to understand your area, right? Are you in snow? Are you in sand? And then who's coming to your area, right? The more you can dial in on this, the more you can get a better idea of what car do I need? Do I need a truck? Do I need an SUV? Do I need a car, right? Now, once you find that out, go ahead and try and get a mid-level range of that, right? You don't need a super luxurious car and you don't want a piece of junk that's always going to be in the shop getting fixed, right? So you got your Toyotas, your Hondas, your Subarus, your Lexus, right? Those are all great brands that are reliable and going to stay out of the shop for you. Now, when we talk about the value has left the car, right? Let's say I go ahead and I purchase a brand new car for, let's say, $40,000. Right, and I drive it off the lot and I rent it, and 3 or 4 years goes by and I go to sell that car. I'm probably only going to sell it for $25,000. So right there I've lost $15,000 in depreciation over those 4 years. Whereas if I buy a car that's, let's say, 7 or 8 years old, right, and I pay $15,000 for that, well, in 3 or 4 years when I go to sell that car, I'll probably sell it for $10,000 or $11,000. So I've only lost $4,000 or maybe $5,000 in depreciation over that same time period. Right, now another thing you're going to want to look at is miles, right? Because to be able to list a car on Turo, it's got to be newer, I should say, 12 years old or newer, and it's got to have less than 130,000 miles. But once you list it, you can keep it on there, right? It's just before you list it, it's got to have those benchmarks. Now, once you list it, it can stay on the platform as long as you keep it maintained. So you want to make sure when you buy a car, it has under 130,000 miles. I like getting as close to that 130,000 mile mark as I can because that's helped draining that value out of the car and lowering that depreciation gap. But I will say, if you find a car that has 80,000 miles on it and it's a great deal, grab it. You don't have to get to that 130,000 mile mark, but it really helps to drain that value out of that car. So the second thing you're going to want to do when you're starting off here on Turo is you're going to want to make sure you take bright, clean photos of your car, right? Now, if you were to look at our car, you'd see some mountains in the background. Mainly it's Montana. There's a lot of mountains, but it gives it that good vibe, right? We got lots of light. It's not in our garage with some lights. You want to make sure you get out in the open space and get as clear photos as you can because this is selling your car. When people are on there, they're scrolling through, they want to make sure that car is clean and looking good and it's going to suit them for their needs. Make sure you don't have clutter in the background. You really scrub down the seats, okay? So, like we said, point 2, make sure everything is clean, a great background, and take good, clear photos of your car. All right, so step 3, when you're starting Turo, you want to make sure once everything's listed and ready to roll that you are pricing for momentum. Because let's face it, if you have 2 cars side by side, the exact same car, one has 55-star reviews and 200 trips, and the other one has 0 reviews and 0 trips, you're probably going to go with the one that has 55-star ratings, right? So price 10 or 15% below everyone else that you're seeing just for those first, let's say, 10 trips. Once you get 10 trips and bookings, bump your price back up, right? You don't want to be undercutting everybody because then you're going to start lowering the market and undercutting yourself. You want to make sure you're really keeping the Turo market strong and helping yourself out by getting as much bang for your buck as you can and keeping that price at the tip of what you can get for it, right? But you also want to maintain those 5-star reviews. So make sure when you're starting out, your first 10 trips, you go about 10%, 15% below normal price just to be able to get some bookings and give yourself and your car some credibility. If you want to make sure you're starting off Turo on the right foot, make sure you're checking out the links below. All right, we have years and thousands of trips worth of experience to help save you thousands of dollars and lots of time. Now, if you purchase Turo's links, it's not going to cost you anymore, but you're going to help support us and this channel. All right, so thanks a bunch for being here, and let's hop back into this video. All right, so step number 4 when you are starting off Turo is automate your process. And by that, I mean you want to make sure you have, let's say, a solid lockbox. You don't want lock boxes that go in the hitch and older people or whoever have to kneel down the snow in the middle of the night and it's a hassle. Make sure you get a nice big one. Maybe it costs you 50 bucks more, right? But it sits on the window. It's very easy for them to use. They're not going to be calling you in the middle of the night, all right? Now the next part of automating your system is automated messages. This is a huge feature and it's awesome, right? You can set it up very simple to remind people, hey, this is when your trip starts. This is the documentation you need to send in, right? During their trip, you could send them another automated message of, hey, just checking in. I hope you're having a great trip. Just a reminder, this is when your trip ends, at XYZ date at X time. And it helps them remind that, hey, maybe tell them they need to refuel the car. That's a good message to put in there. Now, at the end of every trip, I really like to have an automated message that goes out and it says, hey, if you enjoyed your trip, I would really appreciate it if you left us a 5-star review. Thanks a bunch, whatever you want to say. But make sure you're asking for that 5-star review, because when you're on Turo, these reviews, they really help sell your car. So go ahead and make sure you're automating as much of the process as you can. In terms of cleaning, right? When you pull into your garage, make sure you've got maybe a retractable extension cord, a vacuum ready to go. You want to minimize the amount of time it takes you to do a task, but you want to make sure when it comes out looking great and clean. So automate your process as efficiently as you can. All right, so step 5, when you're setting up Turo, you want to make sure from day 1 you are tracking your expenses and your costs. Right now, it might not seem like much. I'm going to go out, I'm going to buy a car for $10,000, I'm going to list it on the platform, I'm going to give it some insurance, and I'm good to go, right? No, you got to know there is a lot of expenses that come with Turo. Now, I'm not saying there's a lot of different expenses. A lot of them are the same, but you need to make sure you know where every single dollar is going, because the ones that are going to make it in this Turo hustle are the ones that have a repeatable, dependable system, right? When you can rely on that system, it really streamlines and automates your process. Now, as you add more cars down the line, that system is going to keep it from adding too much to your plate. So really focus on your expenses and on your costs and knowing where every dollar is going, and that is going to make sure you are maximizing your profit and your time in this Turo hustle. All right, so please subscribe, comment, like, and get notified. And thanks a bunch for being here and staying tuned to the Turo hustle.